This hearing is convened. Now, we're to consider the petition for the commitment of Joshua Norton for insanity.
The long and short of it is this. This man Norton came to town dressed in those ridiculous clothes and told everybody that he was the Emperor of the United States. He should be put away, and that's all there is to it. Ever since this Emperor came to town, is there a man here who has been able to get one of his Chinese workers to so much as carry a message during the noon hour? No, sir. He is responsible for that. Furthermore, he has stirred up all the Indians to demand higher wages. And here's one more thing. He has publicly advocated that women be given the right to vote. There is not one person in this town, man, woman, or child, who has not been affected by his presence.
I guess everybody who grew up in San Francisco at one time heard about Emperor Norton. I did when I was a little kid. Joshua Abraham Norton was a 49er. He came to the United States from South Africa in the great gold rush of 1849, with the great mass migrations of the Western world. He came here and went into business. And he thought he would get a monopoly on rice, so he bet the price of rice would go up. He was going to corner the market. If the price went up, he'd be rich. But a whole bunch of ships with rice came in on the same couple of days, and instead of going up, the price went down. So Joshua Abraham Norton lost all his money. He was broke. He disappeared for a long period of time, and then one day in the late 1850s or middle 1850s, he appeared at the offices of a San Francisco newspaper with an announcement. And the announcement was that he had decided to assume the throne of the United States as Norton I, Emperor of the United States.
So when he came back, he simply conjured a whole new image, possibly a little bit bizarre, but then again it was accepted in San Francisco and in fact in the entire country. People would come all the way to San Francisco to see the Emperor, or where he was heard of. And at his death, January the 8th, 1880, over 10,000 people were in his funeral cortege down to where he was buried. The funeral cortege was said to be over 2 miles long. And then all across the entire United States, newspaper clippings were on the headlines only in giant font stating, "Muy en muerta," the emperor is dead. So he was revered then, he is revered now. January the 8th, in the year 2011, there'll be about 300 or 400 of us up at the Colma Cemetery where Emperor Norton was buried, and it's called appropriately Emperor Norton Day. And then we have a crab feast and a bit of the healing waters, actually quite a bit of the healing waters.
We are gathered here again to celebrate or to honor in memoriam the passing of His Majesty Norton I, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. Gentlemen and guests, it's always an honor to stand before our original emperor's grave with great reverence on a day that is not raining and we actually have crabs.
Hey.
Yes.
Whoa.
Speak for yourself.
Well, they all come in uniform, and they wear red shirts and black hats as their customary attire. Alas, sometimes there are real mourners down at the cemetery for loved ones, and suddenly this group of guys show up with top hats and red shirts and a band playing raucous tunes and a guy dressed up as a long-dead emperor. And it's kind of disconcerting to these people who are there mourning some guy who died to see this event. But one of his more ambitious plans was to build a bridge from Oakland to San Francisco, which is thought to be impossible. But he ordered that to be built. Also a Golden Gate Bridge, and never was in his lifetime.
He had a great deal of engineering background, and that's why he came up with the bridge that you mentioned, to show that it is actually possible to have a good suspension bridge.
Gentlemen, behold my latest project. Well?
What is it?
What is it? It's a bridge!
Norton's bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Norton's bridge is falling down, poor old crackpot.
Why are you singing that song, boy?
I was just playing a joke. Everybody's laughing at that old coot.
This man is a mixture of genius and delusion. He set forth a theory that is totally new to any engineering I've ever studied. I simply don't know whether that bridge could stand or not.
One day, I will build this great bridge.
Kind of wondering why in the 21st century we continue to be interested in somebody who died in 1880.
Emperor Norton exists in all of us with the feeling of early San Francisco. His message would be simply to have tolerance.
It's in the DNA of San Francisco to encourage odd things. You can be yourself here. Even if the person you are is a little mad off and thinks you're the Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. I mean, why not? San Francisco's motto is kind of, why not? You don't, as long as you don't hurt anybody, it's okay with us. So that's why he's important, I think.
He's left us a tremendous legacy.
He's a creature of the imagination, a colorful and giant Emperor of the United States. You can't beat that.
I'm an emperor. I've got to leave a legacy.
All right. So I built a bridge. So what if he did? It doesn't go anyplace.
Oh, you're wrong, Crawford. That's the longest bridge in the world. It goes from here all the way into the future.